right. President's remarks. I'd like to say a few things. When I drive by the city across the street a couple days ago and I see the sails over the playground, I see the extra basketball court, see the pavilion, the bathroom, and now the pickleball that we opened up last week. It does make me proud to have been on this board for the last 7, 8, 9 years because we've done a lot of good things, and it's really cool being able to see it all right out there. So I hope that we continue to do things that promote Keene and make Keene a better place to live, because everybody that's been involved in that, from laying that concrete and doing some of the work yourselves and going out and finding pickleball courts and finding sales and all that stuff, I think is a very good job. And then sitting in this building, actually that side of the building, that we had a big part of. Anyway, it's been good, and that's my remarks. Public comments. I've got one from Old Man, I'm sorry, as address. Old Mansfield, Paul Knott. Threw me off there, Paul, read the wrong line, sorry.
I can barely make it up here. All right.
Old man in the field. Okay.
You know, it was enough to put up with you with council,
Yeah, I know.
and now you're on type B.
I'm not gonna let up on you, Paul.
All right, Gary. I'm here to remind everyone about the candidates forum tonight, so we'd like to see you there. City council candidates is one forum, beginning 6:30 till about 7:30 or 7:45, and then the mayoral forum follows that. So our banquet, the Keene Chamber, the 31st Annual Keene Chamber Banquet is a week from Thursday. It's the 24th. Type B has a table. I want to thank Type B for that support and also for the financial assistance that you give to the banquet. And I'm also here to thank you for the financial assistance you give to the parade, the Christmas Light Parade. You know, we asked you for an increase this year, and you came through with that. So yes, Ricky alluded his little pat on the back there to himself, but yeah, you have done. Type B is doing a lot, so just keep up the good work. You guys are doing a great job. All right, thank you.
Paul,
Thanks, Paul.
what time is that banquet?
Doors open at 5:30. The banquet begins at 6:15.
Perfect.
6:15. Thank you, Chuck.
All right, Troy, talk about arch sign and lighting. Mr. Troy Smith from 310 Woodlawn Drive.
Thank you, sir. It's good to see you guys again. I missed this board because you guys did do, like he said, we get to do a lot of fun stuff, and I appreciated being on this board, and I was happy to help make some decisions. Today I come before you because I wanted to talk about doing an arch sign over the highway with TxDOT's permission and hopefully all support. This sign can be done in a couple different ways. I know the sign that I gave to you as a proposal is just one I just picked out of the hat. The one I have in real mind is to have a banner on a cable system that you can slide across there to highlight some of the events like Starfest or the Christmas Light Parade or the 4th of July Parade, just to highlight the hometown things that we do in this town. One, what is that going to do? It's going to draw more people into our community because they're going to be driving by not knowing what our town does until the day of the event. But if they have a sign up there and we put a banner up there a month before the event, then it gives them something to look forward to. They can say, hey, this is coming up. I'd like to attend that. So that's just something I'd like you guys to think about. Maybe put it on another agenda item, discuss it. I know I talked to Mr. Batla. He was unfortunately unable to have that meeting with TxDOT, so that never happened. So obviously that still would need to be happen, but it's just something I wanted to bring up. So my second one was on the lighting of the pickleball courts. One, I'd like to get that done as soon as possible so that way people can play early mornings and evenings. I know it's getting cooler, but it's still beautiful pickleball weather in the mornings and evenings. And those people are so addicted, they love playing into the nighttime. So, but I wanted to offer, this is a picture of Southern Oaks and the lighting that they have. I just spoke to a representative that put the lighting up for them and is actually installing new lights for them tomorrow. And he was willing to bring one by. I told him we didn't have a place to plug in for that because we have no lighting whatsoever. But he is willing to meet with anybody or create some sort of a diagram something to put together as a alternative to the lights that we are trying to get from the co-op. This is kind of this is where my heart and soul is at. I kind of put a lot of my effort into this when I was on this B board, and I saw it through to the end, and so I'd like to see some better lighting go in there than the traditional lights that we have on the poles that are on the basketball courts. So if you guys could take that into consideration, I would appreciate it. So thank you guys again for what you guys do, and I appreciate all the time you guys come here to do this. So thank you.
I have a couple of questions.
Go ahead.
On the sign, where are you proposing it would go?
I was going to leave that up to you, Cheryl. I have no, I have no idea. As you can see here on this sign, it's at a crosswalk, and so it would be really cool if we could do it at a crosswalk, maybe the one that actually goes across where the school has theirs going across to go across the street to their park. I don't know. I would just offer up a suggestion of something like that, but.
And what, how is the lighting that you're hoping to have for the pickleball courts better? Can you tell us how it would be a better option for the players?
Well, they would be more directional, so it wouldn't be this big bulb that we see as we drive down, and you see a big bowl. It would be more of a directional, straight down on the courts. They're all LEDs, so they're.
So are they dark sky?
Yeah. So you wouldn't see anything up above. It would only be pointing down. Obviously, I would be interested in before we did that, I would want to make sure that we talk to Chief Kidd, make sure that all the safety concerns are met with those kinds of lighting. But I can tell you this, all the times that I've played at Southern Oaks in the evening time with the LED lights, they are so much better for your eyes when you're playing pickleball, and with those big bulb lights, they'll get right in the middle of your shot, and it's just something to blame it on why you missed that shot. So I don't want to have that. So
I think there was a ball that was missed in Sunday's game because of light. Cowboy reference. Those can also be battery powered with solar instead of electricity. We have some at our camp that work that way.
Okay.
And they are bright.
Yeah, they're gonna be a whiter light.
yeah, I just think we need to research our options before we just let co-op decide to throw up whatever they would like, and I just want to make sure that it gets.
Have you looked at any cost for the lights?
I have not. I just spoke to the gentleman literally 10 minutes before walking in here, and so I was going to give his information to Mr. Martin today, and then maybe they could have a little sit down and see if we could get the ball started and kind of get a comparative cost. So
So does the co-op run all the underground, whatever has to go in the ground to get the,
They did for the basketball, yes.
so is that contingent on them doing the lights, or would they still do that for us and be part of the project?
It could be done either way. A contractor could do it from the transformer, the box over to, but that'll be an agenda item.
Yeah, I wrote it down. No, but I wrote it down here for
But
next
I'm
agenda
curious
item.
about what they will do. Can I get that information now of what they do? Anyway.
All right,
thank you
thanks,
guys.
Roy.
Appreciate it.
All right, review, discuss, consider the approval of change order request for the additional concrete for the pickleball court.
We kind of went over this at the last one, and I mentioned that to you, and in your packet, you should, because of Mr. Smith not wanting the sun in your eyes, we had to reorient the courts. So it had a little extra cost to it, and you should have that change order in your packet, right? Oh, I went past it. So basically, it added 535 square feet of concrete at a cost of $11,855.60. I just need the board's approval to pay the gentleman.
Entertain a motion?
What did we, let's see, we changed it because we didn't want the sun in our eyes. But where did it go? Did it come here for doing that, or is that a decision that got made above us?
But I'm confused.
Well, if you make a change order, it has to go back through the board that's dealing with. Did that come here?
It is right now.
No, we
What had
talked about
happened
that.
is,
We talked about that last month.
Yes.
And we talked about how that it
the
did
last
not.
meeting,
That it
I
was
don't
But the
know how-
concrete was already poured, right?
Yes, right. Even last month it was already poured.
I came from the area where if you want to make a change, it's supposed to go back to the board first and
we
not
didn't know
after
it was
it's
gonna
done.
cost any more money until he actually got into doing it. Because when the board said, okay, let's do the 3 pickleball courts, and Troy kind of had his conceptual idea. Well, when I went to the 3 different people that came out and gave quotes, or tried to give quotes, all 3 of them said, hey, let's orient them this way, we can save you some money, and that's what everybody quoted the price on. So when we started to set it up, Mr. Smith came out there and saw what we were doing and asked and said, hey, I thought we were gonna do it this way. So I said, all right, let's go ahead and do it that way. So I made that decision to go back to the original plan. And he tried to get it to where it wouldn't cost any more money, but it just didn't work out.
Where is this concrete? I mean, so now instead of 2 going this way and 1 going this way, east and west, correct? Well, this is it.
Yes.
But, you know,
All 3 were gonna go.
so how
east and
did
west.
it take more concrete? Can you just let me know that?
Because of the dimensions of it. It was gonna be more of a rectangular shape, but then when we had to do the 2 courts here, we had to widen this side of it and not narrow the whole, because we wanted some seating area there as well.
And so that's the piece you're talking about, that little seating area?
That's what it came out.
Basically, I think that sitting area would have been part of the original court.
Right.
But they had to turn it the other way, which made you have to add, that made that little weird looking spot, I think. And in the long run, it was better to get it out of the sun, for sure.
Would we not have been able to push it further east?
No, because of the sidewalk in the soccer field, and then the water line to the north.
Just for reference, I'd like to state my opinion that before we just change this, that we bring it back to this group to pass on it. I know that slows it down, but then we aren't voting on something that's already done to do it.
Duly noted.
I move it.
All right, second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor? All those opposed? All right, 5-0. All right, discuss and consider an adjustment to the meeting date for November 19th meeting.
So we brought this to the board. I have some required training that I need to do, and the in-person training is the 18th and 19th, and it only ends at 2:30. And it's in Arlington, and it'll take me an hour to get back, which is when this meeting needs to begin. So I'm requesting either maybe an adjustment in the meeting time, or if you want to have a meeting that month since it's close to the holidays. Other options are I can just do the training online. It's not as beneficial as if being in person, but I have other options as well if y'all don't want to change your meeting.
So what's the problem with the 19th?
I may not make it back in time for this meeting. I would be late.
Do we have somebody else that can record the minutes? Is that what you're doing, recording the minutes?
I do not have anyone to take my place.
We've used Dawn before for that.
So when are you proposing to change it to?
If you wanted to bump it 30 minutes,
Oh, that's all you're talking about?
if that's an option, yeah.
You think that
I think 30
would
minutes would
work
be
out?
fine.
Do what?
3:30 is hard to make.
You want to permanently move it to 4? Is that what you're saying, 30 minutes?
Said those start running in.
But that,
And I'm with you on that normally, but that runs in, on Tuesdays, that runs into me into trouble.
for,
Like I'm headed out of here as fast as I can to Grandview.
for,
But I get why you're saying that, 3:30 is a weird time.
It would,
How about this one, 4 o'clock on this next one for sure?
Sure, yeah.
is 4 o'clock better for you, Ricky? I mean,
It'll be fine for Tuesday. I mean, not,
or any month.
not technically. 3:30 is about, because Tuesdays are ball game days for us. And I've got to usually be places. But he kind of comes and goes. I mean, like, a lot of times we could do 4:30. We just planned it in advance.
I like the idea of having it at a regular set time all the time, so. But 3:34, 4:30 doesn't make me any difference.
You're retired.
I'm on the government dole now.
Well, I'll entertain a motion then for 4 o'clock for that meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? So 4 o'clock on the 19th.
Thank you, I
Quick and easy.
appreciate it.
Consider the minutes of the board meeting from September 17th.
I move minutes of the regular Keene EDC Type B Board meeting held on September 17, 2024 be approved as presented.
All right, second.
Second.
All right. Any more discussion? All those favor? All those opposed? All right. D, financial report.
We don't have anybody here from our finance department today.
Okay.
So you have it in front of you. If you have a question, I can try to answer it. If not, I'll have to get back to you.
We're still okay on the budget as far as what we're spending, and we've only spent what's been budgeted, right, other than $11,000.
It's not gonna let you forget that.
As far as I can tell, we're okay on everything.
We're at 91, oh, sorry.
Yeah, and this is just for August. They haven't got September's done yet, or the year end, which will be presented at the next meeting.
It looks like we're supposed to be at 91.7, and it looks like that our budget's at 82.6, so about 10% under budget. So it looks pretty good.
I move we accept the financial report for August ending.
All right, need a second?
Second.
All right, Mr. Gaines, any more discussion?
Look at that, Chuck.
All right, all those in favor? Unanimous. All right, anything for executive session? All right, then, request for future agenda items. So I do have a question about that, and the fact that when I look at the minutes for our request for future agenda items, I didn't see any of the future agenda items on our future agenda of today. So was there like we had to put the lighting for pickleball, we had mentioned that last month.
Right. I had reached out to United Co-op. I have not heard back from them yet on somebody to meet me out here and discuss what they can do, similar to what they did with the basketball courts. As far as like the benches, I'm still waiting to get confirmation back from TxDOT. I went over there to them last week in person because they've had some changeover. We've had some changeover. You know, Brent was kind of handling that. So I finally got an email from the representative today introducing himself to me. So we got some catching up to do on the crosswalks as far as Sunset Ridge's entrance, and then discussion on the benches as well.
So I would like to, I'd like to take all the requests from last time and make sure they're just back on it for next time, instead of reading through them all. I mean, if they're on there, anybody want to add anything more to than that? Daniel?
Sunset Ridge. Where's Sunset Ridge?
That's that new development, right?
Sunset Ridge, you said
Canyon's over.
It's the
Sunset.
new development that's going to be going on
Yeah.
Business 67, just east of the end of Old Betsy.
It's the one it's.
Old Mansfield or?
It's kind of hard to
No,
see unless you're looking
it's
for
up
it
there
because it's back in the
behind
trees.
where, sort of like to the west of Cindy's Pizza.
Across the street from Funtown RV.
Funtown RV, it's all up in there. They've
Oh, that
been
little
putting
area
in
that's back in-
roads.
that's kind of back there
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've been
on the same side as the
excavating.
RV, right past the RV
No,
park?
The
no.
Buddy's RV is the small one across the street. It used to be like the used Funtown RV sales lot. It's behind that.
It's behind that.
But you're not talking about the big one on 805B that's got 400 or 500 homes. You're not talking
No,
about
but
that
it's the same developer.
one. Same one.
Yes.
At Pennington, you talking
Yes.
about Pennington there on the
Yes.
right?
Right.
Dr. Kim's old property?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And we want a crosswalk there?
No, they're two driveway entrances, or TxDOT road,
Yes.
and they have not approved their permits for them yet, and they're ready to pour the concrete for the streets. They're out laying the steel today.
And they still don't have their entrances handled.
Right. They already
Well-
made a move at 40 feet, and they contacted me and said, can you sign off on it? And I said, well, I'm not signing off on it until I see where you're moving it.
Yeah, and don't they have a batch plant all set up and everything?
They're ready to rock and roll, yes. So
What would
that's-
that have to do with the 4B board?
It doesn't. I was just updating you on trying to get a
Okay,
hold of
okay.
TxDOT.
I would like to add, I know we discussed on Monday about the concrete for the pickleball court. How it's
Yes.
pushed up.
Yes.
I'd like to add,
Yeah.
They-
We need to get that fixed.
yeah.
They did fix that.
Oh, they did already?
That next day.
Awesome. Okay, they just buffed it down and
Came out
repainted it?
and, he was gonna grind it, but I can't remember. I think they just were able to scrape it off and they repainted it.
Awesome.
And some of those areas that were light green, they added another coat on that, and then they painted the
Silicone.
center.
Okay,
center
cool.
to-
Good.
Well, it looks really nice.
Awesome.
thank you.
It was done that next day.
Anything else to add to the future?
Yeah, we need to put a awning over all that pickleball court.
Well, then you gotta have the lights under the awning.
Yeah, in the summertime, it's hotter than blazes.
So, yeah, so shade sails there.
What, the lights, we talked a little bit about the lights at the basketball court. There's no light on the far end of the second court we put up.
Right.
I think that's one.
Is that what you're talking to United Co-op about?
That and
And pickleball.
And the
give me an
pickleball.
option for the pickleball courts as well.
And those lights do shine. You coming down Old Betsy, sometimes they get in your eyes.
Right.
Yeah, they would be better to be LED for sure.
Yeah, and more focused down instead of
Right.
to,
agree.
up by Chucky's house.
Have we ever asked United Co-op if they have a dark sky kind of light that's more focused down rather than those big
They
bright?
do on their street lights,
Uh-huh.
but they may not cover as big of
It's
an area.
big of an area.
I would think, having served a power company for 30 years, that they could get any kind of light you wanted and put it up on any kind of pole that you might wish. What are the poles that we have down here now? What are they? Just power poles?
No, yeah, just your standard.
Just wood power poles?
Right.
Probably should have done something a little fancier, but they.
Yeah, it was
kinda-
all, they didn't
get
charge us anything to
expensive.
install them. It's just $8 a month, I think,
Yeah.
per light, just like a street light.
Yeah, they get expensive when you want some type of ornamental pole.
Right.
Understand. Okay,
All right, if there's nothing, if that's all of it, then I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
so move.
Second?
Second.
All right, thank y'all.